Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of We Talk Film. I am your host, Barry, joined as always by Clayton as well.
Hello.
And today, it is a spooky themed episode. It's all about the spooks. Spooks. We're gonna scare some people. Some people got scared watching this film that we're gonna review, and other films that we'll talk about. So yeah, what are we doing today, Clayton?
Oh, well, today we're talking about the newest iteration in one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. We're talking about Evil Dead Rise, the newest of the Evil Dead movies, and the first horror movie that we're reviewing on this podcast.
That's right, it is the first horror movie.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
not
look
even
at that. We're going
Halloween.
ahead.
Yeah.
Not even Halloween.
No.
And we're doing
So-
a horror film. But before we go ahead, everybody, you know, it's spoiler alert. Back to the button. I pressed the button this time. I remembered the button because I didn't bother making a horror soundboard, so that's the only button I've got.
I still forgot about the button. Anyway, so yeah, today we're going to talk about Evil Dead Rise, and then the second half of the podcast, we're going to do another film draft, similar to what we did on our sport episode, but this time for horror movies. The spookiest of the scariest, of course. Nothing short of those.
Ooh. Always spooky, always scary. But yeah,
wow.
we're at episode 11 now, so why not we kick it off with Evil Dead Rise? A reunion between two estranged sisters gets cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. Director was Lee Cronin, and obviously it is part of the Evil Dead franchise, which you and I both like the originals a lot. Love the originals. Definitely was, you were saying, one of the best horror movies ever made is definitely Evil Dead 2.
Oh, for sure.
That's a wacky film. But yeah, we came into this, it was kind of a low budget film, and I was just like, it would be like no one will go and see it type thing. Everybody's seeing it. It's made a shit ton of money from its budget.
I know. What was it?
You want to talk about it?
100 million?
Yeah, so at the moment, it's around sitting 120 mil and on a $15 million budget. So
that's mental.
You know, that's mental. That's pretty good.
No, I mean, I get it. There's nothing else horror that's coming out. Nothing else R-rated anyway. I mean, The Boogeyman is, I think, the next kind of spooky movie of the year, the Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah, the Stephen King adaptation. Yep.
That's not getting as much traction as this was. When the trailer for this came out, people were hyped, man. People were hyped.
Yeah.
I mean, Evil Dead is probably the most consistently good horror franchise because I don't think there's a bad one. I like all of them. Whereas, I mean, is that how do you feel about the reboot of the first one or something?
Yeah, no, like obviously you do have the reboot one, but then it's not a reboot because it's like continuation of the Evil Dead franchise. So they're all pretty like good. I didn't have the highest expectations for this film after going to see it. I'm not a very horror film person. Let's just say that, even though I rate Evil Dead 2 as one of my highest films, but that's the thing. Like horror movies these days are like very different from what they used to be in the 80s.
Yeah,
I like
sure.
the 80s horror films for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we're going to talk about lots of 80s horror movies in the second half of the podcast.
Yes, that's for sure.
But no, I like this movie. It was fun. It was a fun time. It was an incredibly violent and sometimes hard to watch fun time, but I enjoyed
That's
it.
for sure.
Oh yeah,
that is for sure.
Man.
This is probably has to be close to like probably the most violent Evil Dead film.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Even
the old ones,
even the reboot. Oh yeah, but even the reboot got pretty full on. But this one, like, this is a thing I'll say, like, kind of an added benefit to this. So do not go and take your kids to go and see. This is an R-rated film, everybody. Definitely not a kids' film, and they definitely made it not a kids' film, and it has children in it that get ripped apart.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I was just like, even in an R-rated film, they're doing this. I was like, oh shit! Like, yeah, there's like a little kid that gets his arms torn off, and like two of the children die, and everything like that, and
it was crazy.
This is a crazy film.
They didn't hold back at all in this movie, and I love it.
No, they did not.
That's what I like about it. It feels very different to the old Evil Dead movies, and it feels more in line with the reboot, but even then, still a little bit different again. But I liked it. I feel like Evil Dead as a franchise is one that we don't need new movies. So yeah, when this one was coming out, I was like, do we need another sequel? Do we need a new thing, another new thing? Because all of the Evil Dead movies feel like their own thing, apart from maybe 2 and Army of Darkness, which
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
that was
link,
just a
but even then, also
continuation.
yeah,
So
also kind of don't because there's scenes in that that don't match the other one. Yeah, but like,
yeah, it's like
I
Evil Dead
yeah,
is a franchise that is just a mess upon itself. So I'm
oh yeah,
kind of happy that when like you do have existing franchises that try to continue but try to do something else. And that's the thing, like they've
yeah,
never fully stated that this is like a full reboot and everything like that. We'll
no,
talk about it a bit later because there's certain like aspects on what people are theorizing online with
mm-hmm,
everything
mm-hmm.
for it. But it's always been like, well, yeah, they've tried to go for the modern approach in films now, like make it more thriller horror, not like the goofy horror that it we used to see in the 80s films and everything like
Oh,
that.
I know.
Like that's understandable. It's a new age and everything like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
But it's more just like along the lines of what they do for like Conjuring and Paranormal Activity and stuff like that. No, more jump scare approach
Yeah, for sure.
is what they try to like add in and everything like that. And oh boy, there was yeah, definitely a couple scenes in this one that weren't necessarily scary, but was just like haunting. Especially the
Yeah.
cheese grater scene. The cheese grater scene. That
Ooh.
was disturbing. It was in the trailers, everyone. So if you haven't seen the movie, go and watch the trailer. There is a scene where they just put a cheese grater on someone's leg in the trailer, but obviously you can tell what happens after that with the cheese grater.
Oh,
And yeah,
man.
that was just disturbing. That's what got me. That's what got me. Not
Yeah.
anything else. Was that?
Yeah,
I'm
no, that was
terrified of cheese
that
graters
was one
now.
that was one of the 2 scenes that made me cringe, and it's very hard to do that. I've seen some violent stuff, but yeah, no, the cheese grater scene got me, and also when she swallows the glass, because it's just, like, poking her throat as the way
Yes.
down. I was like, "Ooh, funky, man." No, they didn't hold
Yeah,
back
it's
on
real funky.
any of the violence
No.
in this movie,
Yeah, well,
which
that's the
is
thing because it's all
really
like a lot
surprising.
of practical effects as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I've been trying to watch behind the scenes footage of how they did it all and stuff like that. And it was actually like a lot of behind the scenes of the actors actually performing all this stuff as well, like all the
Wow.
contortioning and stuff like that. They actually got like actors in to come or do that, and
Yeah.
this is a bit like,
No,
oh, that's just creepy upon itself.
props to
But
the
yeah, just the
kids as
amount of
well.
effects and everything as
Yeah.
well, practical effects you see in this film, what they do for
Mhm,
like
mhm.
blood and everything like that, and the weird creepy monster thing at the end when they're all combined. Like obviously that certain aspects of it were CGI, but there was still I
Yes.
think like it looked to be like a puppet rigging system for a
Seemed
couple of
like
parts
it, yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Mm. No, but yeah, no, props to all of the actors. The performances in this are pretty good. Even the kids, man. Especially under that kind of pressure of it's a R-rated horror movie, they gotta do some freaky stuff.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
that
Now
was
having
that was
like kid
crazy.
actors and working with them, obviously like that's hard enough upon itself, but then getting them to react to something this
Mm.
creepy as
Mhm.
well. And that's the thing because I think that the youngest one, she's what, probably like 8 or
Yeah,
9 or
something like
something
that.
like that.
If not younger,
And
yeah.
it's just, yeah, if not younger. And it's just like, you're in a film, like you're doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'd be terrified to go on set every single day.
Yeah, half of the cast of
S-
this movie can't go see it.
yeah, exactly. Like it's really only the auntie that obviously comes in and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um Teresa. Is it Teresa or Beth? I can't
I don't
remember.
remember their names, man. The
But yeah,
the
obviously what
music
the story
lady.
is and everything like that.
No, no,
Music lady,
yeah.
who's the aunt, comes to the house or the building where her
Mhm.
sister lives with her 3 kids. And then
Yeah.
basically an earthquake happens or
Uh-oh.
whatever, which releases, well, they kind of like go into a little crevice area. And already, like they're saying, the kids are saying that the building was already haunted already is about the bank man
Yeah.
that if you jingle your coins, he gets you type thing. But yeah, obviously, unexpected earthquake happens. Only for this building though. That's it.
Mm.
And basically, one of the kids goes down to the crack that opens up because of the earthquake, in which we find a tomb with
Uh-oh.
the third volume of the Book of the Dead. Because yeah, they want to just like go back and say it's not the first Evil Dead. Well, first Evil Dead, it's the volume 3 Evil Dead because there was 3 in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
yeah, there was 3 books.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that.
So obviously, yeah, it's one of the Book of the Deads because I think Volume 2 was in the reboot. Well, Evil Dead
I don't know, man.
2012, whatever you call it.
Who knows?
Um, Yeah.
That
So
doesn't really
obviously,
matter.
yeah, the kid gets it and then he opens it all up and then he starts hearing weird demon possession noises and stuff like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
And then obviously the demons come and have some fun in the building. And obviously
Oh.
they haunt the mum. That's why the tagline for this film is "Mummy loves you to death." So yeah, the mum dies and gets taken over by the demon bodies, and she basically starts killing everyone, and even wants to kill the
Yeah.
kids and stuff like that, and just goes ape shit. And then
Mhm,
it's up to the
mhm.
auntie to save them all and everything like that while everyone's dying. And yeah, basically the aunt and then the youngest daughter actually survive at the end with a chainsaw,
Yeah.
obviously. Because
Yeah,
you know that's how
of
you win
course.
against a demon. Chainsaws. Just keep a chainsaw in your house, okay? That's how you got to survive
It
demon
seems
attacks.
look, everyone in these movies does just has a chainsaw in their house, so I guess they're okay. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
fair point.
the best parts of this movie were the homages to just Evil Dead as a franchise. Every scene, there
Oh
was
yeah.
something hinting to it, whether
Yep.
it's the shotgun, the chainsaw, the front door being used like the trap door in the original, stuff
Yes.
like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
like, "Oh, it's so good." I just love
Well, yeah, yeah,
I
that's
love
the
it.
thing. Like
I
even
love
the
the references, man.
smallest like things, like the action sequences. So
Mhm.
like there's one point where she rips out a guy's eye or the neighbor's eye, and
Yeah.
it goes into the other guy's throat. It's like that was a thing from Evil Dead 2.
I know, but
So
this guy died from it though. Evil Dead 2
yeah,
spat
this
it
guy actually is
out.
choked.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, man. It was, a well done movie, and I'm surprised how well it's doing, especially with that budget. It's like people
Oh
like this
yes,
movie. It's
yeah.
it's
Well, that's the thing
currently
because
yeah, it's
yeah,
sitting on
well,
an
around what?
84% Rotten Tomatoes as well,
That's good. That is good.
which
That is
that's pretty
really good
good.
for such like a
People
low budget
yeah.
film. That is good.
Yeah, people are enjoying this movie, and it, considering it didn't really do anything different. It's just kind of stuff that we've seen before,
No,
but in a well done way. I'm surprised.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, that's the thing to it, yeah, because it just obviously plays so much homage to the original Evil Dead
Mhm,
franchise,
mhm.
and everything like that. But just like obviously, you can tell since the '80s, since they did Evil Dead,
Mm.
to doing this one now, how much like visual effects have changed on like
Oh, yeah.
using still having a reasonably small budget still,
Mhm.
like in the mindset of things. Because like obviously, I don't know what the original Evil Dead cost them. I know it wasn't a lot, but maybe number two cost them a bit
Ooh,
more. But like if you
yeah.
put that amount of money, what they made that back then, to like today's values, I would say you're probably looking around the same type of budget. But it's just like obviously you can do
Maybe.
a lot more
Yeah.
these days with technology has changed over time to do horror films and stuff like that. Even though they kept most of this film is still practical. There's so many
Hmm.
practical effects in this, like the costume designs and everything, or what they make the mum look like when she's possessed, and
Yeah, no.
it was creepy, man.
It was,
Those
yeah, really
weird
well
demon
done.
eyes. Yeah,
The demons always look good in the Evil Dead movies. I don't know what they do, but they always make them look so good, and this one, yeah, is no exception. They made them creepy, funky looking, and they get more and more funky looking as the movie goes on, and I love that. When at the
yep. The
start,
more they die, and then they come back, and the more they
yeah,
die,
yeah.
the more they come back.
No, the start of this movie, I went and saw it with a friend, and he was like, "Oh, they don't look as good as they did in the original. They look kind of bland." And then as it went on, he was like, "Oh, never mind. They look worse." Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but no, it's so good, good. And I
Just over
liked how
time.
they kept the demons as basically the only thing that's consistent between the movies. Like the movies kind of put their own
Yeah,
vibe,
like
but the
they haven't
demons are
tried to
always
add in anything
yeah,
else.
yeah.
I know
Know
they
what they can do
somewhat
and what they have.
did or tried to in the Evil Dead TV show, but it was still
Okay.
like demons were responsible for it type thing.
Mm.
So it's always coming back to the demons and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that.
I haven't seen the show. I've been meaning to. I've heard that it's good, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, I just
especially
haven't
if you
haven't
liked
watched it.
the original, well, number two and Army of
Mhm.
Darkness, it's like a continuation of that. It's just wacky.
Oh
Like I've
hell yeah.
watched the first season of it, and it's just Bruce
Nice.
Campbell being a bit older, and he's just like, yeah, I can kick some ass still.
Ah, that's fair. He was in this one too as an uncredited voice role.
Yes, yes, and we
Oh
can talk
man.
about our theories a little bit later on if you want, or my
Oh,
theories that I've been
theories?
reading about all that because what they can do and time traveler stuff.
Oh
Like I
man.
want them to go back to the wacky side of Evil Dead, man. I
Oh
want
yeah.
I want Bruce Campbell to come back in his own film again,
I
just
mean, we
because
can.
this one's done so well.
Yeah, no, we can talk about theories now if you want. Why don't you throw us what
Okay.
you've learned? Yeah, man. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Well, obviously during the film and everything like that, when the boy, I forget his name already.
Don't
Why
ask
am I
me, man.
forgetting his
I don't
name?
remember any of their names.
The kid that's responsible for all this shit going down and the mother dying and everyone dying essentially.
Yep.
He's like, ha ha, I'm gonna get it. Danny. That's what they call him. Danny.
Oh, okay.
He basically how they do it this time around, instead of I think an old like tape player, which was Evil Dead 2, they have
Yep.
vinyl records this time
Mm,
around. And on the vinyl records, it's a preacher who found the Book of the Dead Volume 3 and then obviously wants to bring the demons forth and everything like that. And
mhm.
on that record, we hear Mr. Bruce Campbell, Ash himself, or
What?
potentially Ash, but it's Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell anyway,
He's
shouting at
unnamed.
being, yeah, being like, no, you can't do that. You're gonna kill everyone. Stop what you're doing. And obviously, that record or whatever was made, what 1920s or something
Yeah, I
like
think so.
that.
Yeah, it was 1923. It was 100 years
Yeah,
before.
1923.
Yeah.
And obviously, people hearing that that was Bruce Campbell now, and since there has been time travel stuff before in the Evil Dead franchise, a
Oh
lot of people
boy.
theorizing on the internet if they ever do get Bruce Campbell back, it might be something to do with 1923.
Whoa, a 1920s Evil
Yeah.
Dead movie? Like gangstery?
I
That'd be
mean,
kind of
that
cool.
would be pretty cool.
Instead of a shotgun, it's
That
like
well,
a
that's the thing.
Tommy gun.
That's yeah, during Prohibition as
That
well.
could be cool.
1920s America. So
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
he
But
would
yeah,
be
I
cool.
totally thought Bruce Campbell was gonna have like a full on cameo in this because
Mm.
he is a producer on it. Same thing as Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's a producer.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah, I saw that.
you know how we see at one point the homeless man walking down the street when they're trying to shout out for
Yeah.
help.
Yep,
I
yep.
thought the guy was going to turn around and it was going to be Bruce Campbell. I was like, God damn it, it's not him.
Oh, no, it's alright. The movie didn't really need Bruce Campbell. It was doing its own thing from the start. It's cool that he's a voice.
Oh yeah,
I want more Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell, but not for this. This was his cool little own thing. And I also
oh
kind of
yeah,
want to
like
see
its
more of
own
this.
self-contained story.
I want more of both. Is that too much to ask for Evil Dead? To have more of the serious and more of the goofy? I don't know, man. Oh,
Yeah, well,
that's
that's the
another.
thing.
Ooh.
It's nice to see that like sorry, Sam Raimi's like letting other people have his franchise almost like
Yeah,
he's not being held to it or anything like that. He's
yeah,
just like, oh yeah, do whatever you want with
yeah.
it
That's
type
good.
thing.
Well, yeah. Well, no, he let people go off on the reboot, which I actually enjoyed. It felt a lot like the first Evil Dead, just kind of modern day, which is what they were going for. But no, I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed this probably a little bit less than that film. But yeah, no, it's good that he's just giving it up to some other people. And this is another rumor that I started just now.
Mhm.
Uh, I want an old man Logan Bruce Campbell Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, you and I talked about this the other
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
day.
I want because you could make it a sequel to this. You could make it a sequel to any of them, where it's like demons have taken over the world. Bruce Campbell's running
Oh
around
yeah,
like I Am Legend. That would be awesome. We should.
that would be pretty
Whoever
cool.
made that movie, get us to write that one. We'll make that one. Warner Bros.
Yeah.
There we go. Get us
Was
in.
it is it New Line? Yeah, Warner Bros. And New
Yes.
Line.
Yeah, yeah. Warner
So
Bros. Probably
yeah,
owns New
no, I
Line
will
anyway.
definitely write the next Evil Dead film. I'll be happy about that. Yeah, do it
Oh hell
like
yeah.
Old Man Logan style. Give Bruce Campbell a bit of a beard and being like, God damn it, the demon's taking over. Not groovy.
Groovy. No, that could be really good. Oh man. Well, I know we're only 20 minutes into this episode. Do you want to jump to final thoughts and ratings and then spend a whole lot more time on the second half talking
Why
about some
not?
other things?
Why not?
Yeah,
Let's get
we can
into
take our
that.
time.
So yeah, I suppose I'll give my final thoughts about
Yeah.
it all. Like I say, it was good. It was a very like well done, put together like horror film and everything like that. Still, I feel like I've seen like even in the past 10, 20 years, like better done horror films, in my opinion, that got me a bit more like spooky. This one to me felt very predictable. Like you knew what was gonna happen every step of the way. And it was just
Yeah.
like, why it's like we've been seeing these horror movies now so much like that,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the past 10 years and stuff like that, that more like real cheap jump scare approach and stuff like that. But it's and that's the thing, like I'm don't purposely go and watch like horror films like these days. It's just not my type of thing. I'm not like scared or anything by it. It's just like I don't know, horror films these days. Like, yeah, I don't really like them, but I'll happily go back and watch like the original Evil Dead
Oh
and
yeah.
Evil Dead
No,
2
that's
and
fair.
like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. Just because
Mhm,
back
mhm.
then it was very like goofy type horror.
Campy,
Not
yeah.
well, campy type horror.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me that like seems like just a era of time of cinema or horror film cinema anyway that was just like
Mhm.
enjoyable. Like it was actually enjoyable to watch a horror film and everything because you
Yeah.
kind of were less like they would go crazy sometimes with a lot of the horror films. Well, Evil Dead 2 is a big example of that. Like you just weren't sure what's going to happen
Oh,
next
no. It
because it's
was
just
great.
like, what the hell's going on? Where with these horror movies they make today, it's very like predictable. Like you do know what's going to happen next,
Oh, yeah.
and everything like that. The only thing I was
Mhm.
surprised about, yeah, because obviously we'll talk about the child actors and stuff like that, even in our horror films before, and that they don't really try and attack the children as much, or normally the children survive. Where with this, they're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, kill all of them. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, I like that.
Well,
Props for
yeah.
that.
So that was props for that. Props for that. So yeah, overall, give it a kind of average review. I'll probably give it a 4 out of 10.
Oh, alright, okay. A 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. No, you said you were gonna be a little bit more harsh starting this
Yes,
episode.
I'm being a little bit more harsh. We're coming into the new age of the WTF podcast now. Barry's having his
Wow.
bad man arc, so be prepared. We got to get some low scores now, or mid
Wow.
range scores. It depends on how
Hi,
good the
I'm
film
Barry.
is. I want to be more cynical. I want to be more cynical on things.
Fair. I love this movie. It's a 4. Oh god, Barry, no. Oh, no, I enjoyed this movie. Again, yeah, completely different to some older horror movies, which is just so much fun and just completely different experiences, like you said. But I don't mind movies like this. I don't mind the, kind of predictable jump scares when it's done well. Stuff like the first Conjuring is a good example.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nothing after the first Conjuring, the rest of them kind of suck. But yes, like that, or 2017's It, stuff like that, where they do it
Yes.
really
Yep.
well. I'm all
Yep.
for, and this is very much in the same boat and vein of those films. So I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all
6 out
right.
of 10.
We're
It was
we're going
enjoyable.
around average today. We're going around average.
Yeah. No, that's not fair. I mean that's
Not
fair. That's
bad.
a
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah. It was good. It was an
That's
enjoyable
the
movie. If
thing. Good
you're a fan of
on
horror movies, go
this
see it.
team. Yeah, good on this team anyway. To like, we're only working with a $15 million budget, and
Oh
obviously
yeah.
making already over $100 million in but like in return already. And that's the thing. I am looking forward. I'm hoping now that they do more Evil Dead films. That's all I want now.
hmm
They've made a profit on this film. I want to see more Evil Dead films.
Yeah. I wonder how many
I
of
want
the
to see
other
them continue
Evil
this
Dead.
franchise.
How many of the other films have made a profit? None of them have made a profit this big. I couldn't tell you if any of the old ones made a
uh,
profit at all. At least
I
when they came
think
out.
the original trilogy did, but not as
Yeah.
like a big profit, not as much as this one has.
No, no, no. They definitely became really big in like cult films and stuff like
Oh
that. I know
yeah,
you see posters for the Evil Dead in the backgrounds of movies all the time,
oh yeah, yep.
but it's
Well, that's
yeah,
such an
man.
iconic poster.
Oh, but all of them are.
That one.
They've all got
Yeah,
such great posters. Even this one. This one had a cool poster with the mum holding the kids and they're all kind of facing her and she's smiling all creepily. I thought that was done pretty well. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
consistently good posters.
Consistently good posters. That's the key to any film. Just
Pretty
make sure you have a
much.
very good poster.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right. Well, I think that concludes first part of the podcast. And should we jump over to the second part?
Let's jump over to the second part of today's podcast that we've been talking about for
Whoa.
the past week about what we've been watching. So yes, I have been kind of on the binge watching experience of horror films again at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I've had time, or something's been on in the background,
Mm.
while I've been working on things. So yes, do you want to explain what we're doing again, Clayton, just to remind those on how the draft works and everything like that?
Yeah, of course. So basically, me and Barry are going to go head to head, picking films one after each other in order to see who can have the best list of 10 movies. And whoever has the best list at the end, we'll chuck a poll up on our Spotify again and we'll see who you think has the best list. And we will try and steal films from each other. We'll try and get the best films. We'll get weird films that no one's ever heard of. We'll have every kind of film you could ever imagine in these lists coming up. I can't wait. So,
Sharknado count was that a horror film because of how bad it is?
you picked Sharknado. I'm picking Gremlins 2. Neither of those are allowed.
Neither of those are a horror film.
Oh man! All right, so Barry, pick a number between one or two, heads or tails. Pick heads or tails, Barry. Flip a coin.
I'm gonna go for heads.
Oh, Barry. Barry, I hate to break it to you, I'm going first today.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
You're in for a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got a good collection this time?
I've got a great collection. I got a collection of about 30, maybe 40 movies to choose from.
Nice.
Did I outdo you on the amount of films?
Yeah, that's a lot more than I was. Well, I haven't really prepared for anything, but yeah, sure. Let's get to it.
All right. Well, I know that you would eventually pick this film if the list was going on for a certain amount. So I'm gonna grab.
So you're starting harsh.
I'm
starting
grabbing
harsh already.
No, I'm grabbing my favorite one first. This isn't your favorite one, but it's up there. I'm gonna grab a little film from 1982, I think, by John Carpenter. It's called The Thing. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, definitely not. No, The Thing, the reboot thing that came out back in 2013.
Oh,
that one.
I can't even joke about it. I haven't seen it. No, I'm grabbing the original.
It's actually
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice. We love the original. The original Thing is amazing. It's one of the best horror films ever made. Still is one of the best films ever made.
It's in my top 5 favorite films of all time.
Yeah, but fun fact, the reboot one isn't actually a reboot. It's actually a prequel to the original Thing movie.
Oh. Oh, Are they Swedish? Is it the Swedish guys?
No, it's about where the dog came from.
Oh, so it's like a dog's life. It's like Benji.
No, it has people in it, and obviously they're like the first ones to encounter the Thing, and then they have a dog, but the dog gets infected at the end, which led to the events of the original Thing film.
You know what? That actually sounds kind of cool. I might check the reboot out. That sounds kind of cool. No, I'm grabbing The Thing.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, The Thing is one of my rare 10 out of 10 films. Okay, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna throw it at you now.
Okay.
What are you gonna counter me with?
You're going with The Thing, we're going 80s style here. So I'm gonna go with probably I'm just gonna go for probably my favorite horror film of all time, which when we were talking about the list, I totally forgot about until you mentioned it. Is Aliens or Alien?
Oh,
sorry.
Oh yeah.
Alien.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That is 5. I will put that on like probably once every couple months, man. Because that is such like a well done film. And just like even still, it gives you like the chills and everything like that. And like look, what franchise that became as well. And you know, I just love it. I love that film.
Yeah,
it's sci-fi, like full on sci-fi Blade Runner style. And
set
with
a new
aliens
standard for it, man. It was nothing like it when it came out in 1979. And funny story about funny story about Alien, right? It's the only movie that I've bought on the PlayStation. If you go to my PlayStation video library, it's just Alien, the movie.
It's just Alien.
It's
That's
just
all you
Alien.
need.
That's all I have, and it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I love it. I have all of the Alien films on DVD.
It actually came out in 1979, so a bit before the Thing. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's what I said. Nothing was like this when it came out. It set a new standard for both horror and sci-fi. So I would have picked it. That's for sure.
Yep. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Good choice.
Coming in with the clutches.
Throwing it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to do that one. I'm going to save that one for later. Do I get the one that's going to annoy you, or do I get one that's just a good winning option? Ooh.
I mean, I did in the last draft did take one from you.
You did. You messed me over with Speed Racer.
Yeah, so you kind of want to get revenge, man, before I start taking things.
Yeah, all right.
Otherwise,
Screw
I
you,
will
Barry.
start taking certain ones.
Screw you, Barry. I'm taking Evil Dead 2.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
take
I watched
that.
that again the other night, the day of watching Evil Dead Rise,
Oh,
and
it's
it
so
still
good.
holds up. I still love it. I love it
It's
so
so
much. It's
good.
so goofy.
Oh, The
Like, if I
Thing
ever
and
do a
Evil
horror
Dead 2.
film or anything, I am just basically gonna remake Evil Dead 2.
We
Like,
I'm down. Let's make an Evil Dead movie. You can be Sam Raimi, I'll be Bruce Campbell. Let's make an Evil Dead movie.
yeah, groovy.
Groovy. That sounds awesome. Oh, no, but it's
Yeah.
it's really funny because The Evil Dead 2 was what inspired the film that I made for our TAFE Film Festival thing we did. The
Oh,
Gronkcist.
so not The Exorcist?
Well, that it was that too, but it was, yeah, what if The Exorcist ran into the demons from Evil Dead? It's like, yeah, just took
Ah.
took those two ideas, smashed them together, and that's what I did. So I really love this film and this franchise. So I'm gonna throw it back to you now, and you can pick something that isn't Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of maybe changing it up with the horror film instead of doing a demon or something like
Uh-oh.
that. Because that's the thing. There is a lot of horror films, and they
Oh
like
yeah.
cover it's like spans so much.
Oh my god, bro's gonna
But
pick Willy's
I
Wonderland with Nicolas Cage.
Oh my gosh, I do have it up on my screen, so I was thinking about it.
Wait,
But
really? Oh god.
yeah. But, no. What I'm actually going to pick
Oh.
is another cult classic film done from the '70s that basically made a certain well, probably the GOAT of all filmmakers ever. I'm making a small film called Jaws. I'm picking that one.
What? I've
Might
never
have
heard
heard
of
of
it.
it?
Never heard
Never
of
heard
it.
of it?
What's it
No.
about? A dentist?
No, it's this like guy named Bruce, and he just goes around killing people.
Evil Dead?
Bruce Campbell, what?
Groovy. We're gonna need a bigger
Groovy.
boat.
We're gonna need. Yes, let's put Bruce Campbell into like another Jaws film.
Put Bruce Campbell in every movie ever and it works.
I want him to
Oh.
be. That'd be great. I'll be so happy.
Oh, that'd be great. All right. Do you want to talk about Jaws a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk about Jaws for a little bit. So
I
obviously
love
came
Jaws.
out in 1975 by a young filmmaker, then Steven Spielberg,
Never heard of him.
which no one's ever heard of him. But then obviously they made like other Jaws films after that, and all of them are just bad.
Oof. Yeah. I don't like any of the other ones. Or I don't like any other shark movie. Jaws is the only
No,
one that's done it right. And it was the first
yeah,
one to do it.
and you
Yeah.
barely never see the shark. That's
That's
what
why
like I
that's
don't
why it
still
works.
get. That's why it's best. It's the
That's why
music.
Alien
It was
works too.
everything about it. Yeah,
The
that's right.
best
Yeah,
horror movies are the ones that don't show the thing. Except for The Thing. That's the exception to the showing The Thing is the movie The Thing because that shows The Thing straight away.
yeah. But then it turns
But
into other
yes.
things and other people, so you don't know who the
Well,
thing is and what the thing is. And it's like, oh
exactly.
my
So
god.
technically it's not showing The Thing, quote unquote, the alien demon,
Oh, that's
whatever.
right, because they made Jaws 3D because they were like 3D back in the
Oof.
80s, and then it had a really bad. I don't know if you've ever seen that sequence of it
Yeah.
like going into the glass or whatever.
Yeah. Is that the one where the shark roars? Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Such
that's all
a
you need to
stupid film.
know.
And that's got
Don't watch that one.
Dennis Quaid is in that.
Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, the Dennis
Oh,
Quaid.
man. Just watch the first
Mm.
Jaws. The first Jaws is really great. It's the only shark movie I have on DVD, and it's the only shark movie I'm ever going to have on DVD.
Let's all talk about the fourth Jaws film, Jaws: The Revenge.
What's-
Michael Caine is in it.
He is.
Michael Caine is in Jaws 4.
Is he a helicopter pilot or something? I think I remember that.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah, that movie was
But yeah, I was just
stupid.
like, that's right. He was in that.
Yeah.
Why, Michael Caine? Why?
Master Bruce, you're in the water.
Master Bruce, you're in the water. Get out, Master.
Groovy.
Oh, that's why he's got shark repellent. That's why Batman keeps shark repellent.
Because he knows.
What? He
It's
knows.
all connected.
It's all connected. That's how you do it.
Oh.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right. Well, I guess that throws it back to me.
To you, man. Yep.
All right. Well, all of the movies picked so far have been on my list, which isn't surprising considering we've grabbed 4 of the best horror movies ever made straight away.
Yep.
So, I am gonna grab another older movie, one that I know you like, and it's the only good werewolf movie that I have seen. It's An American Werewolf in London.
Hey.
I'm grabbing that one.
Hey. That was gonna be
Yeah.
my next one if you didn't say it. So
Oh,
good.
really? I'm glad I picked it then because I love this movie.
Yeah.
It has one of the
Oh yeah.
best transformation scenes in movie history, really. It's really well
Well, that's
done.
it's yeah, not even like the whole werewolf aspect to that film.
Mm.
Like even though it's really really well done and everything like that,
Mhm.
I really like the whole story what they do with David and Jack, like
Yeah.
about the friend that dies and he
Mhm,
keeps like
mhm.
seeing him and that whole dynamic, like messing with your mind type thing.
And the
Because you know
werewolf
that's what I
Nazis?
like to write about. Yeah, and werewolf Nazis and stuff like that. So I get pretty wacky with my writing and what I make.
No,
So
it's a good
yeah.
movie. It's you know that a horror movie is gonna be really good if the story works without the horror elements. If it's a great
Yep.
story with the horror attached to it, then you know you've made a
Mhm.
banging movie, and now this is a great example of that, so, yeah, I'm gonna throw it back to you now. You gotta find something else to pick.
Okay. Yeah, well, there is obviously another film that's quite big that I can think of right now, but I'm going to go for something that you might not have heard of and audience might not have heard of. But
Ooh.
I've got it right here on my screen because last week we reviewed, well, did an entire podcast all dedicated about Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Mhm.
I was just like, oh, yeah, James Gunn's very, very well done. He's such
I
an
think I
amazing
know what you're gonna
director.
pick. Can I guess
Yep.
what you're gonna pick?
So his first ever
Can I
film that
guess?
he
Can I
made,
guess? Can I
what
guess?
is it? Was it Clayton? What is
Is
it?
it Slither?
Yes, it is Slither.
Oh, that was on my list, you bastard. Oh, I love that movie. I have seen it.
Yeah, because that was his first ever directed or directorial debut was
Yeah.
Slither, starring Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Michael Rooker.
Mhm.
And yeah, that is actually like, even though it's like a B movie type thing, it's so cool
Oh,
to
it's
actually
great. It's a
watch.
great
It's
movie.
not, yeah. Like, I suppose it is somewhat horror, but more just like goofy type thing. But yeah, that's like the last like somewhat horror esque film that is like kind of still goofy a bit with the characters, which I kind of
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
So
Well,
that's why I enjoyed it so
yeah,
much.
that whole movie itself is a homage to the B-movie horrors of the
Oh
'80s,
yeah,
which,
yep,
yeah, he
definitely,
said on himself is and it's great. I love that movie.
yep.
Wow. I was gonna pick that soon. You've come back pretty hard. You've stolen some off my list. We
Well, there
both
is
got
one big film
yeah.
that we both haven't said yet, which I'm
There's a
surprised you didn't take it.
there's a couple big films we haven't said yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Oh,
horror films, man. There's a lot.
there is. Alright, well, okay, so let's recap the list so far. I have The Thing, Evil Dead 2, and American Werewolf in London. Barry has Alien, Jaws, and Slither. These are pretty damn competitive so far.
See,
Oh
mine are all
boy.
creature related. You see what I'm going for? Mine are all
Yeah,
creature related.
mine are all different. Alright, well, I'm gonna grab something different again, but also something old as well. I'm gonna grab the very first Exorcist movie. I'm gonna grab The Exorcist.
Yes, yep.
Yes.
Good old Exorcist.
Oh man,
Still the
it's
only good Exorcist film.
literally, and oh god, it's such a good movie. I love this movie.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah, it's
This,
probably sitting,
this
yeah, just outside
well,
my top
that's
5.
damn.
Wanna
'Cause
put
yeah, that's 1973.
Yeah,
That
man,
film.
it's old as.
That's yeah, that's going back a fair
Yeah,
bit.
it's crazy. It was a hell of a thing when it came out too. I mean, again, there was nothing like it in any
Yep.
aspect. It was mental.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Like you had
so
the director shooting live guns every time there was a jump scare on screen, you know. That's just the things you
yeah,
could do back in the 70s.
I guess, man. I don't know. Alright, what are you gonna follow that up with?
Well, there is
Uh-oh.
one film that we both haven't mentioned yet. Um, that I was kind of like, I'm trying to stick with a theme here now for all mine, as you can see where we're going.
Oh.
Probably one of my favorite films of all time, and one of the films I definitely want to make a sequel to. Just get me on it right now. Good old Gremlins.
What? Ah.
I know you had it on your list, man. I know you
Oh,
did, but
definitely.
I was trying to stick with the theme. I was trying to stick with the theme, but it's such a great film. Like I love Gremlins so much, man.
It holds up so well, man. It's
It
great.
does. It does. I was watching it not too
Oh.
long ago, and I was like, yes, yes, just give me. I really want to get like an actual Gremlins
Mhm.
puppet now, so much, and like just
Bro,
whoever's
yeah.
got the IP to Gremlins, just give me a call. I'll write you a
I
sequel.
think it's Warner
Not,
Bros.
I'll
No,
write you
it's
a
really
sequel to
funny.
the to the original movie, not the
Not
second one. The
Gremlins 2?
second one's not Gremlins 2.
Oh, no, I love Gremlins. My brother has a life-size Gremlin plush toy. That's pretty cool.
That is
But
cool.
yeah. No, this movie's really funny. It's also kind of scary, despite it being a PG film. Like, if you're
Yes,
a kid,
yes, that's right. It is a PG
you're gonna get
film.
pretty spooked. It's pretty
And
scary.
they said like the old lady flying out through the building. A lot of people actually died because of gremlins.
Yeah, well, they're very scary, and I love
Yeah.
Gremlins. I would have taken it probably next, if I'm honest. We're following
Yep. Yep.
each other's list
I
pretty
know.
well.
Pretty
Oh
pretty
boy.
well. Pretty
All
well. So
right.
what's
Well,
your next one gonna be?
oof. I'm gonna follow it up again with something completely different as well. I'm gonna grab probably one of my favorite movies that's a Stephen King adaptation. And I say that, that doesn't narrow it down. There's about 7 of them on
No,
my list.
more
I'm
like
gonna grab
70.
yeah, at least. I'm gonna grab a little film called Christine about the killer car.
Hey, about the killer car.
Yeah,
I actually
why
want to
not?
go back and watch that again. It's been a while since
I
I've
have it on
watched that.
DVD. It's so good. I love it.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like, because what year did that come out? You know?
It was like 84. It was just after Carpenter
Yeah.
did The Thing. I think it was, yeah.
Okay, but it's still like the visual effects, what they did for it when it like reforms itself
It's
and
so well.
everything like that.
I still don't
That
know how
is
they
just
did it.
like, did you do that back then?
How
Did
did
you
you do that?
actually like
Man,
reverse shot crushing a car or something?
but you can't do that because you have to show something hitting it. Like, how does
Yeah.
it work? I still don't know how they did it, and I kind of don't want to know because it ruins the magic. It's
Yep.
such an impressive movie, and again, it's a great story as
It
well.
is. That is such a great
Oh,
man, there's so many good horror films. Like it just
oh
covers
yeah,
so
man,
much.
bro. Oh,
Oh
it's so
man.
good. All right, your turn.
So good. Ooh. So we've had Evil Dead 2 so far.
I was
Um
thinking about picking it again.
yeah, think of it again. Evil Dead's on my mind, man. Evil Dead's on my mind.
Well, you got
So
4
I'm
others.
gonna go with another Stephen King book film
Oh,
that he actually hated.
yeah, he
uh,
hated the adaptation. I know what you're gonna pick.
he had the adaptation. So yeah, obviously 1980s The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, it's a,
What a
it's a,
film!
it's
It
a great
still
fucking
holds
movie.
up.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, man. It tops the list of psychological horrors. Oh, no, maybe seconds the list of psychological horrors, but
Yeah, I feel
it's
like there's.
really good.
Oh yeah,
It's really good.
nah,
Holds up.
really good, really, really good.
Yeah, well done. All right. Well, I suppose I should follow that up with my favorite psychological horror then.
Yeah.
Just to trump that. It's not as well done as The Shining, but it's just my personal favorite, and it's a little film called Jacob's Ladder, the original.
Okay, I've actually never seen that one.
Oh man, you'd love it. No, you'd love it. You have to watch it. I have it on DVD if you want to borrow it. It's honestly great. You have to watch it. Oh, it's such a great
Jacob's Ladder,
movie.
the 1991.
Yeah.
Cool,
91. They
cool.
remade it about 10 years ago and it was god awful. But no, the original one's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like 1990. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think
will.
so.
I will definitely have to give that one a go.
Put it
Because
on
yeah,
the
I've
list.
heard it like by a lot of other people that it is really good as well. And they're like, what,
Mhm.
Barry? You haven't watched that before? It's like out of all people, we would
Yeah, I
expect you
know.
to watch it.
You'll love it. It's a great movie. So yeah, I'm throwing it back to you. I won't talk too much about that one. I'll throw it
Ooh,
back. Throw it
okay.
back your way.
Yeah, I'm going back with an older school movie. It's kind of all right. The only reason why I love this horror film so much is because it stars one of my favorite actors of all time, the great late Gregory Peck.
Okay.
And it is a small film called The Omen, which got a remake about a decade
Ah.
ago too. But obviously, yeah, it's about this young boy that they adopt, and basically he's possessed by the Satan
Yeah.
and kills people. And Gregory Peck's like, oh, I'm gonna find out. And Gregory Peck being awesome the way that it was. So that's the only reason why I watched it, because it was
Yeah.
Gregory Peck.
Hey, that's another Stephen King adaptation too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
No,
Is
I
it?
think it
Is it? Is
is.
it?
It wouldn't surprise me. Everything's a Stephen King adaptation.
I mean, it's an old Richard Donner film, so, we're going back
Probably.
a fair bit. It's
I don't know, man.
1976 it came out, so I don't think it is
Ooh.
Stephen King.
Okay. There might be a similar
Yeah,
one that I'm thinking of. I haven't actually seen
yeah.
The Omen,
There's
but
nothing about
no.
Stephen King for
Okay.
it, so
I was mistaken. That's okay.
mm. Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's not a bad one. It's on Rotten Tomatoes like top 200 horror films, so,
Oh, okay. No, that's cool. I'll put it on my list to watch then.
Yeah,
Oh, do
yeah.
do. 4 films left now.
4 films left.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna pick a zombie movie, but it's probably
Hey!
not the one you think I'm gonna pick because I'm
Oh.
picking a little foreign film called Train to Busan.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, the
Oh,
Korean
wow,
film.
I didn't expect you to go there.
No,
I yeah.
I love this
That is
movie.
such a well done film.
It's great. Have you seen the sequel, Peninsula?
No, I have not.
Don't.
I've just watched. Oh, okay.
Don't.
Crap.
Don't. I don't know how they
What
can make
happened?
such I don't know how they can make such a great movie and follow it up with one of the worst movies I've ever seen, like, a few years
Oh,
after.
no, seriously?
No, I'm serious. There's an
Oh.
entire, like, PS2 graphic car chase in the middle of the movie that goes on for about 15 minutes, and it's so bad. It's also it's like trying to pander to Western audiences for the second one. But
Yep,
in the
yep.
worst, mate. It's like the Fast and Furious guys were given a budget of $10 to make a zombie movie. Awful. God awful.
Oh,
But no,
man. That sounds awful.
first one is one of my favorite zombie movies. It's great. I love it. Real well
Nice,
done story.
nice.
So yeah, throwing it back at you.
Yeah.
I picked something you
Throw it
didn't
back at
expect.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go something a bit more modern. I feel like all
Uh-oh.
my ones have been a bit old. I know there's a modern horror film that Barry actually likes.
Uh-oh.
It's
Evil
like
Dead
yes,
Rise?
there is one that I rate quite highly, and I was surprised by it when I actually did watch it because it took me a couple years to actually get around to watching it. It
Mhm.
is the 2020 version of The Invisible Man.
Oh, okay. Haven't seen it.
I really, really enjoyed that. That was quite unexpectedly like well done.
Really?
Yeah, because it's got
Okay.
Elizabeth Moss. She's the main actress, but she was
Mhm,
in
mhm.
her first ever thing was Mad Men, which is one of my
Oh,
favorite
yep.
things of all time. My favorite show of all time is Mad Men. It's simple as that. But yeah, I was like, oh, she's in it. So I was like, oh, I'll get around to watching it then. I finally did. And I was just like, oh, wow. This is very surprising on how well they did this.
Yeah,
And
wow.
yeah, I really hope the person that wrote this and I think also did the directing for it, I hope they actually do more like horror films based in modern day because what he did for this was just phenomenal.
Oh, I haven't seen it's one of those films that I skipped when it came
Yeah.
out.
I would
Maybe I should
definitely be
revisit
putting
it.
it on your list.
Really? Alright. No,
Yeah,
I'll
because
check it out.
it's this is like because that's the thing because you obviously you're seeing like clips of the original
Mhm.
Invisible Man and stuff like that, and like kind of how goofy that is and everything like that. How they did it in this film for the reboot was just like some parts are still a bit like all right, yeah, all right type thing. Um, but yeah, it was actually like this really surprisingly like well done. Even I was creeped out by it.
Oh, wow. No,
Because it's
that's a
more just like,
good
is he
choice.
actually there? We don't know. You
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Can't
He
see him.
could be.
Alright, well, no, I'll add the John Cena movie to my list, and, I will follow it up with another pick. Ooh. This is
Ooh, what's it
one
gonna be?
that I don't know if you'll pick, but it's one of my favorite movies just because of how much fun it is. And
Mhm.
it's a little film. You might have heard of it. It's called Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hey, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is. One of us is gonna pick
Oh hell yeah.
it.
I honestly I prefer the Nightmare movies to the Friday movies. That's for
Oh yeah,
sure.
that's for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to watch all the Friday 13th things at the moment. I'm just like,
Yeah, they're hard to get through.
yay.
Yeah. No. I've watched the first two. Yeah. Not really a
Yeah,
big
even the
fan.
first two aren't really that great compared to like a lot
No.
of horror films back in
No.
around that time as well.
Yeah. No, I watched
Because
them just for
obviously,
their
yeah,
historical significance in the cinema
yeah,
history, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. Nightmare on Elm
All
Street.
right.
I like that one.
Nightmare on Elm
That's a
Street.
good
That
one.
is a good one. How many we got left now? We got three
You've got
left.
3 left. Yeah, so you're number 8.
Ooh, my number 8 that we haven't said yet. And there is a lot. There is a lot I could
There is
do.
a
I
lot.
do have one. I do have another modern one. And then
Mhm.
there's a couple of older ones. And I was thinking of going with the old classic, but I might leave that to last.
Alright, alright.
So I'm trying to find something in between, and there's a lot of them. There's just way too many horror films, man. And like
Yeah.
that's the there's like some good ones. A lot of them are quite garbage, if I'm being honest.
That's for sure.
Um, like just way too many, way too many.
Mm.
But no, I'm just gonna go for it.
Alright.
In 2018,
Ooh, yep.
2019, sorry,
What?
a small black and white film done in a
What?
4:3 ratio, so I love it even more. Is The Lighthouse, starring the Batman
Oh.
and Green Goblin.
Man, I've been meaning to watch this movie since it came out. I'm surprised I haven't yet because it looks really good.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. It
it's
seems
it's
like a
just
Barry
like
movie.
it is a Barry movie. Like everything about it, man. Black and white, 4:3 aspect
Mhm.
ratio,
That's
just
all you need.
wacky story beyond belief. Like it's great.
Yeah. No, I'll be fair. I was not aware that this was a horror movie. I know it got
Yeah,
kind of psychological, but
it's or more thriller mystery type
kind of
thing, but
like The Shining in a
Rotten
way.
Tomatoes have it on their horror list.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, it's
No,
it's in the
that's
same
fine.
vein as The Shining.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's cool. I class that as horror.
yeah,
That's fair. All
nice.
right. Well, we have 2 left. This is where it gets really
2
tough because there's
left. I know.
lots that I want to mention. We can do some honorable mentions at the end, that's for sure. But oh, this is a tough one, Barry. Do I
It is.
pick do I pick the one that I really want or the one that I
Mhm.
really like?
Ooh, big say,
Oh,
man. Big say.
big say. All right, I've got 2
Ooh.
left. I'm going to grab another more recent film and another
Yep.
Stephen King adaptation. I'm
Ooh, okay.
I'm grabbing a film called The Mist.
Ah, you cheeky bastard. Yeah.
This is one that I only watched recently. I saw it for the first time
Ah,
this
okay.
year, and I was
I
blown
saw it like
away by
15
it.
years ago
Yeah, well,
as
that's
a
when it
kid,
came out.
and I was terrified.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it this year, and it holds up really well. I was surprised about how well it was done and how well it was. It got me hooked into the story. I love it. Such a
Yeah.
cool idea.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah. And especially that ending still, I think, is definitely one of the most impactful endings to, like, any film, just any film. Like, I
oh
don't
yeah.
think they've topped being that dramatic,
Hmm.
or that, like, sad and depressing.
Yeah. No, if you guys haven't seen The Mist, I severely suggest checking it out because it's not that talked about.
No,
People don't bring it up a
no.
lot.
Same thing as Slither and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and they're really well
Um,
done movies.
yeah, it's always like the low budget horror films that I feel like do
Hmm.
better
Mhm.
because I suppose they have like they're more
Most of the
focused
time.
on the story
Yeah.
than anything else.
Mhm. No,
So,
that's for sure. All right, well, throwing it back to
very
you.
nice.
You're number 9.
My number 9. Well, I do have a few up on here. One of them you could say is not really a horror film, but has horror elements to it. I
Yeah, I
suppose
got a few of
vampires
those.
are involved
Oh,
to
that
it.
might be the one I'm
One
thinking
of
of.
them, oh, one of them is another creature related one, and then another one is part of a franchise we may or may not be talking about today. And
Okay.
then another one. There's so
I'm
many.
sure I
There's
could
too
probably
many.
guess them.
Yeah,
Tell me which
yeah.
one you're gonna think, and I'll see if I can guess it. Which one are you gonna pick?
I'm going with the blah 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 one.
The vampire one? Are you picking the Lost Boys?
No.
Whoa! Oh, I was wrong.
Whoa. Yeah. No, because that's a pretty good film as well. I do enjoy Lost Boys, but no, I am actually going with Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Oh, haven't seen it.
starring Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder and
Yeah,
a lot of people. Anthony Hopkins is in it
he is
as well.
Dracula,
No, he plays
isn't he?
as
Oh
Van
no, sorry.
Helsing.
That's
Gary
right. Yeah,
Oldman is
Gary
Dracula.
Oldman's Dracula. The other
Yeah,
one.
that still holds up as probably one of the best like just films in general. Well, it's done by Francis Ford Coppola, the guy that made Godfather made this. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. This is another
So
one that I've been meaning to watch. I just haven't gotten around
yeah,
to it.
fun fact as well that between the marriage scene that happens between Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, apparently that was an actual real minister. So logically, they're actually married in real life.
Didn't they date for a while? They
Yeah,
might have
but they
dated.
in the film they got married at like an altar thing with a real priest for the film, and they didn't know it was a real priest. So logically, they're married.
Oh wow, that's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
Oh, did they get divorced accidentally in the sequel or
I
something?
don't know how it works or something like that, but yeah, it's just like that's the thing. That's how it works apparently. So yeah,
Oh man, this is where it gets
yeah,
hard.
that's number 9. That's my number 9.
This is where it gets hard. We have one film
Yeah.
left, each of
One
us.
film left,
I
and
have
there's so many,
so many left on my list.
so many.
So many I want. I want them all.
Oh, I forgot about that
Oh,
one too. Oh, god
yeah.
damn it! There's too many.
We'll throw out some honorable mentions after we pick our last two, but this is tough. There's 3 that I'm torn between. Ah,
What's it gonna be, man?
all
What's it
right,
gonna be?
all right. There's 2 that I'm torn between. I'm narrowing it down. Uh, all right. I'm gonna grab a comedy horror.
Ooh,
A comedy
gonna be a
horror.
lucky last. A bit of a comedy.
Comedy horror with zombies. A comedy horror with zombies
Hey,
done by
comedy
Edgar
horror with
Wright
zombies.
called
Look
Shaun of the
at that.
Dead.
I'd never seen it. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
It's my
What is it?
favorite. It's my favorite zombie movie.
A crap British film. Joking,
No,
joking. It's
it's a
amazing. It's
great British
amazing.
film.
It's one of. It's the one of.
Oh
It's
man,
amazing.
I love British zombie films.
I
So well
love
done.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good old Edgar Wright, the Cornetto trilogy. Just go and watch all his
Oh
films.
man, yeah. Shaun of the Dead. It's another one that the story's so well done. The humor in the movie is great. It's so funny. It holds up so well.
While we're actually
Oh,
talking about this film, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Out
oh.
of the trilogy, is Shaun of the Dead your favorite?
What are the other 2?
You got Hot Fuzz,
Hot
and
Fuzz
then At
and
World's End.
that's right. I haven't seen At World's End, so Shaun of the Dead's probably my favorite of the trilogy.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's Hot Fuzz. I really prefer
Really?
Hot Fuzz.
I
Yeah.
felt no, I preferred this to Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz felt like it was doing a little too much,
Yeah,
but
that's kind of like
it
me though.
still
I
worked.
just do too much.
No, that's fair. No, Shaun of the Dead was a little bit more toned back and a little bit more dramatic, I suppose, with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no,
Yeah.
that's Shaun of the Dead's probably my favorite.
Nice, nice.
All right.
Okay.
Lucky
So
last
on
for
to
you.
my final film, the final film of tonight for the podcast that we're selecting. Now there is a lot of good films.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of good films. So I'm kind of torn between doing a classic film, a modern film, or just a straight up goofy film.
Honestly, do one of them.
Do one of them. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm actually gonna do this because the director for it actually has his new show, well, the final season of his show coming out soon.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go with A Quiet Place.
Oh,
Yes,
that wasn't on my
done
list,
by
but I did like that
John
one.
Krasinski, and Emily
Yeah.
Blunt, his wife, and the other kids and everything like that. This, when I first heard about it, I was just like, it's gonna be just like another horror film type thing. And then I
Mhm.
actually went to go and see it at cinemas. This one,
Really?
I think it was a friend or something because he was just like,
Okay.
John Krasinski's in it, and I was like, ooh, wait a minute. And then Emily Blunt was gonna be in it too, and I'm a big Emily Blunt fan, and I was like, I'm gonna have to see this now. So I watched it, and I was like, I was very surprised because he like wrote this, obviously
Yeah.
with 2 other people as well, but he also directed it as well. And yeah, such as another small film as again, like it didn't have a very big budget
Yeah.
on it, and actually didn't make that large amount of money either.
No.
Um,
It did account
but
for a
yeah,
second
it's
sequel
still
though, and that was
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
It's
I
all
didn't
right.
like
It's
the
gonna be
sequel.
interesting to see what they do for there's
Yeah.
like a 3rd film coming out now.
Yeah.
About like the day 1 over in New York or something like that.
So that sounds kinda
With a
cool.
new group of people. But yeah, it was just like a short little film. That was his first ever one.
Mhm.
and yeah, I really enjoy it.
It's
But other
cool.
than that, I was gonna say the goofy one was Tremors, starring Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I could have said that.
You could have. Well, do we want to recap our, or should we throw out some honorable mentions before we
Let's throw
recap
out
our
some
list?
honorable mentions.
All right, why
You
don't
go
you?
first. What was your
Oh,
honorable
okay. All right,
mentions?
I'll throw out some honorable mentions. The first one that I was going to pick and was torn between was The Lost Boys. I mentioned it when you said Goofy
Yes.
Vampires because I love that movie. It's such a good one. Yeah, it's probably my favorite vampire movie. Like,
Nice, nice, nice.
yeah. Another one, the British zombie one, 28 Days Later. That's another good one.
Ah, yes. Yep.
The
Oh,
sequel's
talking
also
about
pretty good.
zombie films, I just want to mention. I suppose not really horror and definitely more action is Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
Yeah,
I
I haven't
just
seen
have
it.
to throw that in there because it's a film done by Zack Snyder.
No, that's fair. Yeah, no, it's on my list.
Yeah.
I'll get around to watching it. Another film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
That's pretty
Yep.
important. A bit outdated by today's standards for sure, but it's a cool, quirky, low budget movie. 2017's It, the first one.
Yep.
That's really
Yep.
well done. I was debating that
That's really
one.
well done.
The sequel sucks, but that one was good. Rosemary's Baby. That's an old one. Good
Yeah,
classic.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, I think that was like 1968 or 69 that came out, so that's pretty old.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, right around time of Psycho sort of thing. Oh no, after Psycho by a little bit, but
Yeah,
pretty
Psycho
good.
was the first one to start it all.
Another one, Poltergeist, produced by Spielberg
Yes.
and kind of
Yep, yep.
co-directed a little bit. That one's pretty good. Pet Cemetery, the original.
The
I
original,
love
yeah.
that movie. It's not very
Yep.
good, but I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, sure. That was if I really needed something. Not that I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. That's another
Okay.
one.
Yep.
Again, a little bit dated, but still kind of cool. Another more recent one that I had, Barbarian. I'd like to throw that one out there.
Still
That was
haven't
pretty
watched it
cool.
yet. Still
It's good.
haven't watched it.
It's a very Barry movie, man. It gets wacky.
Okay.
It's good. You'll like
Okay.
it. And then Psycho, another Hitchcock one.
Hey, I was like,
One
when are
of
you gonna mention
Yeah.
it?
I think that'll do it for my honorable mentions. Why don't you throw some names out there?
Okay. Well, obviously I said Tremors, which was a thing.
Yep.
And then yeah, obviously you got the birds as well. But one that was done more recently as well, The Cabin in the Woods,
Oh,
the 2011 one,
I've been
which
meaning
is
to watch it, man.
basically an homage to every
Mhm,
single
mhm,
horror film ever made. And
mhm.
it is amazing.
It's got Chris Hemsworth in it, doesn't it?
Got Chris Hemsworth in
Yeah,
it, and I
yeah.
won't tell you what happens.
Yeah, no,
But
I've
it
been
was
told to watch it and not know what happens. So
yeah,
I'll do
yeah.
that.
But yeah, also we've got like Midsummer as well.
Mhm.
Carrie, the original Evil Dead.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
what else have we got? And they made a lot of Hitchcock stuff as well. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
he
Psycho if you
did a
didn't say.
lot.
The Host, because you talked about his other film, John
Oh,
Ho,
yep.
the
Mhm,
zombie
mhm.
one. Well, I think it's
Yep,
the same guy. Yeah. The
I think
Fly,
so.
starring Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good one. I didn't have that on my
That's a good one.
list. I forgot about that one.
Ah. You
Oh,
also got Zombieland, which is another good zombie film.
yeah, I like
Um,
that one.
Don't Breathe, if you've watched that
Yep,
one.
yep.
Yep, yep.
That's done by the same guys that did Evil Dead Rise, I think.
Oh, is it?
I I remember. I think I read that somewhere. Da, da,
Or
da,
did he
da,
do the
da, da, da,
second one?
da. He might have done the second one. Let me let me let me just have a look.
Fade Alvarez, is that the same guy? Fady?
Uh, no.
Oh, he did no, he did, the reboot to Evil Dead.
Yeah. Where
He
did I
was a
read?
director and screenwriter.
Where
Yeah,
did I
he did
read
the
that?
reboot Evil Dead. But he did, yeah, Don't Breathe 2 and The Girl in the Spider's
Hmm.
Web and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That came out last year. The rebooted one. That was crap and nobody went to go and see it.
Yeah.
And then you obviously got like the original like Nosferatu, the Wolfman, the
Yep.
original
Yep.
Invisible Man, um,
Mhm.
the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, stuff like that is
Wacky
always like
movies, man.
kind of
Oh yeah.
wacky to watch, especially Caligari, man. Like I just watch that for like visual elements because it's just like,
It's a
oh,
funky movie.
it's a funky movie. You got the Wicker
Yeah.
Man as well,
Oh
if
yeah.
anyone's seen that.
Yep. Yep.
Um, And yeah. Oh, Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
Actually, I
yeah,
forgot about that. I remember as a kid,
yeah.
like people talking about that.
I will say that movie bored me. I got so
Yeah.
bored during that movie.
If you want to talk about
Yeah.
low budget, it doesn't get any low budget than that film.
No,
I think that
honestly,
has to be one
yeah.
of the low budgetest films ever to be put into cinemas.
I
And then
no,
the
yeah. I was
cameraman
gonna say.
fucked up in the final shot because you are meant to see the witch, but he didn't get the shot, and so you don't see the witch at all in the film.
I kind of liked it, but
Yeah.
again, yeah, the movie was so boring. Oh god, it was a
Oh,
slog to get through.
yeah. And another horror film that I actually watched last night. What? It's classified as horror. Sleepy Hollow. I should have had that on my list. I really enjoy it
Yeah.
with good old Johnny Depp being wacky
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, just Jack
Yeah, that's fair.
Sparrow in it as a
Yeah, pretty much.
detective.
Oh man. No, that's fair. All right. Well, let's recap
Yeah.
our lists and then we'll call it a day. We'll see who got the better. These are both really competitive. These are really good
Oh
lists
yeah,
on both sides.
yeah.
So we'll start. Barry started off with Alien. Then he did
Ooh.
Jaws, followed by
Yep.
Slither, and then he
Woo.
took Gremlins.
Yeah, baby.
Then he got The Shining,
Yep.
The Omen, The Invisible Man, and The Lighthouse. And then he got Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yep.
And then the last one he picked was A Quiet Place. You know,
Yeah.
that's a good list. You have a few that I haven't seen, quite a few that I would have liked on my list, and quite a few other good ones. So yeah, good job, Barry. And then over on my side of things, I started off with The Thing, and then I got Evil Dead 2, and then I got An American Werewolf in London, followed by The Exorcist, and then I got Christine, and then I got Jacob's Ladder, followed by Train to Busan, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Mist, and last and not least, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah, I
Those are
feel like
some
your
good
list
lists.
is definitely more like if you were to define horror films as actual horror, you definitely have more on your list than I do.
Yeah, I win. No, well, I'll leave a poll. You guys can vote for whoever won. Whoever you think won. But I think that concludes today's episode. Do you think, Barry?
Yeah. Well, we're just over an hour already. Look at that. Time goes
Yeah.
by. Where
We
we did
killed
most
time.
of that was just talking about we do kill time, especially when we start
Yeah.
talking about films that we do
Oh,
love.
man.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of horror films. Like I'm still going through the list of things. Like we didn't even talk about Blade.
I was going to ask if you classed that one as a horror movie, but I forgot about it. I forgot about Blade.
I mean,
No,
if we can put like Tremors as a horror film, then definitely Blade.
is Jurassic Park a horror?
Is
The
it?
first one?
Kinda is. Kinda is.
Kinda. I'd say it is.
I mean, the book is more horror than what
No,
they
I'd
did.
say the first one is a horror. All right, that's it for us. We're going way over time.
Yeah, we're going way over
All
time.
right.
Way over time. Let's go.
Alright.
Let's wrap it up, man.
Let's wrap it up, man. All right, everybody. Yeah, follow our social media thingies. Download the podcast on Spotify. Listen to it on everywhere you find podcasts. And I think that's all from us. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye for now.